Hey, good morning. So yes, Queen Bee 9 is gone. 300,000 followers. Poof, right out the window. All right, let's talk debate. Tonight's the big debate. We already know what we're going to see. We're going to see a lot of the convicted felon word be thrown around. My advice to Trump would just be to talk to the American people. Explain what we've been going through the last 3.5 to 4 years. Explain all of that. Just talk to the American people. Don't even deal with him. Just let him talk, because he's going to be fumbling all over himself. We already know he already has the questions. He's already got the answers. He already knows what's coming at him. And they've been trying to, mash that into his brain for the past week at Camp David. And we already know this is a big deal. And a lot of people are saying, well, why would Trump even sign up to this? Because you know why. Because if he said no to all of Joe Biden's parameters, which is no studio audience, 2 commercial breaks so they can go reamp him up, if you know what I mean, and the mute button, they're going to be cutting his mic every single time this man tries to say something. And we already know this. Their whole idea tonight with this debate is to try to paint Donald Trump in a bad light. And they've been doing it since that man came down the escalator in his first administration when he won the election. So it's going to be more of the same. All of us already know what's going to happen. CNN is about Joe Biden. The mainstream media is about Joe Biden. They all know this man's got full-fledged dementia, and they don't care because they think you, the American people, are dumb. But here's the thing is we're not. So we already know what's going to happen in this debate tonight. It's going to be a shit show. And if Donald Trump said no, and everyone's like, well, Donald Trump's lawyers agreed to the debate. What do you think they're going to say? Because if Donald Trump or his lawyer team or his legal team basically said, no, none of this has ever been done before. We've always had a studio audience. We've always been able to freely talk back and forth to the American people. Then all of you guys would be saying, oh, he's afraid of Joe Biden. Oh, of course, it's not Donald Trump's way. It can't be anything. He's such a dictator. He's such a fascist, right? And that's exactly what all of you guys would be saying. So, of course, he's going to have to agree to the terms that Joe Biden and the Democrat Party put out there for this debate. For the first time ever, you're seeing a former president come back with a strong and commanding lead over the sitting president in a debate. And where CNN and Joe Biden can actually put laws and rules into the said debate and be able to cut off his mic whenever the hell they feel like it. I mean, it's just never been done before. And this is just one more reason that we see that Joe Biden is not mentally fit to run this country. And everybody knows it. And so does CNN, and so does the Democrat Party. But they've got themselves backed into a corner because they don't have any other probable candidate that could even beat Donald Trump at a smidgen of a time. So they have to keep pushing this forward, making it look like he's just this specimen fit of mental, capabilities. And he's not. And we all know that. So it's going to be more of the same. Had a night to sleep on everything, and I thought about everything. Yes, I was really going to hang up this app after they banned my account for calling out CNN for threatening other social media platform streaming companies with copyright infringement if they dared streamed this debate in real time and did their own fact checking. And because I called out CNN, TikTok took down my account with 0 chance of appeal with 300,000 followers. So it annoys me because it took me a long time to build that account up, and now I have to start all over again. But you know what? Us on this side of the aisles, we're not fucking quitters. We're Republicans, we're strong, and we're women. So we're going to fight, and I'm going to fight back, and I'll build this account back up, and I'll say thank you to everybody on X who has absolutely added me in the last hour or two. I've jumped over, 1,000 followers already, so thank you for that. And I guess I blew my Queen Bee name out of the water. So, hi, I'm Jean. Nice to meet you. That is my real name. So if you want to follow me on X, it's @JeanRomantic, because that's my last name. So I guess the cat's out of the bag now. So nice to meet everybody. So I would love to say that I could go live during the debate tonight, but I can't because I'm going to be working. But I will definitely be, getting all the highlights afterwards, and we'll be listening to it at work. But I can't go live. So anyway, more of the same. That's what you're going to see. More cutting Donald Trump's mic off, more calling him a convicted felon. But the end of the day, 50-year high inflation, high interest rates, crime in every urban city, over 10 to 16 million people allowed into this country that have now committed crimes and murdered Americans and women and children. The Democrat Party are going to boast on and on about abortion, but yet have completely reworded Title IX to allow men in our sports teams, our bathrooms, and our changing rooms. So it's all about gaslighting you about women's rights and reproductive rights, which I don't know what is reproductive about abortion, but These are the typical buzzwords that they get women to get very emotional, to think that they're losing their rights somehow, while absolutely stripping our female athletes of their actual rights. It's all about gaslighting you. It's all about telling you what you want to hear so you get super emotional and go run to the polls thinking that Joe Biden's got your back, when he's had the last 4 years plus 50 years in government to do anything about Roe v. Wade. He did nothing about it. He had the last 4 years, but now he's saying, if you vote for me, I'm going to change Roe v. Wade. Why didn't he do it the last 4 years? Think about that, women. You're not dumb. They're banking on you being emotional. They're banking on you being stupid. Don't let them, okay? They don't care about women's rights, because if they cared about women's rights, they would have protected our female athletes in sports. But all I always say, the crazy runs supreme, and the logical, well, we get banned and pull off of apps. That's what happens when you speak logic to people. So it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be more gaslighting. It's going to be more Donald Trump's a convicted felon. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump's record speaks for itself. We had none of these issues. We had no wars overseas. How many wars you got under Joe Biden right now? How many trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars has he taken of our tax money to pay off of people's student loans on top of that, which is not being paid off, it's just being transferred to us, but billions of dollars to another war. How many deaths under Joe Biden? We have Gaza, we have Ukraine, Syria, Yemen. How many more? Afghanistan, where some of our troops were killed because of his hasty and disgusting pullout. These are things that you have to remember going into this debate, because they're going to harp on the same old talking points. Gun control, climate change, abortion. Abortion being the key one, because women think that somehow they've lost their rights in this country. I will say it once and I will say it 1,000 times. I'm going to be 50 years old this year and I've lost 0 rights. Abortion was never a constitutionally protected right. Sorry, but that's just the facts of the situation. Bringing it down to the state level for the people to vote whether they want it or don't, and to add exceptions to those rules, was the most democratic thing that you can possibly think of, okay? It belongs at the state level for us, the people, to decide what we want to do with it. And they're going to gaslight the shit out of you and make it look to be that you're losing your rights somehow. But guess what? You're not, okay? The LGBT, you're not losing your rights either. You have more rights today than you have ever had in the history, okay? So these are typical gaslighting points that you're going to hear by Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, because I'm guarantee you he's already got the questions and he already knows how he's supposed to answer it. And the last week they've been drilling that into his head. Joe Biden has dementia, and I'm sorry if people want to pretend and act like Americans are dumb and we don't see it, but we do. And we understand what's going to happen. I give Donald Trump a lot of credit because he knows he's walking into the lion's den where they can cut his mic whenever the hell they feel like it and try to pin this story the next day in the press that Donald Trump did terrible and Joe Biden's amazing. Because I guarantee you, mark this video, that's exactly what you're going to hear from all of the CNNs and the Rachel Maddows and the Joy Reids and the Views about how great Joe Biden did. But we all know that the man has got dementia and he is not mentally fit to run this country. We are steadily marching towards World War III, and this is where this country is at. Americans can't afford housing, can't afford rent, can't afford health care, basic groceries, necessities, gas. You have 4 more years of this. I really pray to see where this country's going to go when you have a man that is mentally compromised at the helm. Think about that and understand that what we're telling you is the truth. And you may not like what we have to say, but you know the reason it bothers you is because you know deep down that you know he's got dementia too. You just hate Donald Trump because you've let the media infiltrate your brain and your common sense. I'm telling you right now, Trump 2024, if you want to get this country back, that's the way that it is. And I don't care about what he said. I don't care what he said 30 years ago. I don't care. You want a strong businessman to get this country back on track and not a career lying establishment politician that has had all these years to do things that he's promising you he's going to do and he hasn't done. They're hoping for you to get emotional. They're hoping for your emotions to go over your common sense. Don't let them. Trump 2024, and good talk.